Hi everyone at LINI. It was great to meet you and great to dive your sites, and congratulations on some fantastic work that you've done. Here's some of my recommendations. Thinking of Adam and assessing what works naturally. As I've mentioned, John Walsh and myself are strong believers in looking at nature, looking at natural reefs for guidance and inspiration of how nature does it. And out of respect for nature, we need to strive to build the best reef that we can. Therefore, it's important to look at how natural reefs look and function. And here's some nice natural reef. Those large sponges. And as we pan out, we can see those natural sponges and reef next to man-made objects such as tires. Fortunately, you guys aren't using tires anymore, which is good news. The shrimp pots seem to be working well, so that's good. Now, with regard to the shrimp pots, if we step back and look at can we improve them, which is always important with an artificial reef program, I think it's worth trying half pots. I think it's worth trying to make them more natural looking, perhaps a vase shape, and add the shrimp pots around the fish domes. Now, regarding the fish domes, remember we can think of artificial reefs as cities. And how do our cities function? Now, there's space around those fish domes that rock, rubble, coral rubble, and the shrimp pots I think would do really well where those red arrows are. So with regard to the fish domes, I suggest adding the rocks, shrimp pots, roti or other reef units. Add more lumps and ledges as we worked on some prototypes with you. Vary the height of them. Try some in shallower water. Thicken up the base to make them heavier, and always think of putting a minimum of 10 together to get that critical mass so they work like a city. Now, cities we find interesting have many different size buildings, and there's the Melbourne skyline, and it's the same when we look at a natural reef. A natural reef doesn't tend to be just flat and of one height. Now, when you look at your fish domes, sure, there's variation there, but can we do better? And it's always important to look at can we do better. So my recommendation, and it's just my recommendation, is try varying the height of your fish domes. And the question of spacing came up. How much space between fish domes or clusters of reef units? And this is a common problem I see around the world. People often tend to put other reef units too far apart from each other so they don't work as a city or as a town. If you think about houses, if you've got houses too far apart, they don't function as an effective town or city. So as a general rule of thumb, if your cluster is X meters wide, think of putting the next cluster of reef units only X meters wide from that first cluster. Now, this is just a general rule, but it is a good rule of thumb to start with until you have a chance to observe and build a bigger reef and observe how that reef is functioning. So, in summary, think of a minimum of 10 reef units, vary the height of the fish domes, explore new and different designs, aim to make the shrimp pots more natural looking, add rock and other reef units around the fish domes, increase the weight in the base of the fish domes. Remember that 60-40 rule I told you about? Add lumps and bumps to the fish domes, try fish domes deeper and shallower, increase the hole size, especially if you're wanting larger fish for eating, and remember not to put your reef units so far apart that they fail to work as a town, as a community together. Keep that space between your reef unit clusters to just the width of that first cluster you're putting them next to. I look forward to your updates and photos. Feel free to email me or give me a call anytime, and I really look forward to seeing the progress that you make. Best of luck, and look forward to my next visit to Bali.